We just witnessed an incredible game one from both Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic. AD goes for 40 points and 10 rebounds and was the second best player on the floor. Jokic had a triple-double with 34 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists, and it was honestly really entertaining. We're going to break down how the Nuggets had tremendous offensive success and how the Lakers made a tweak and counter that they will probably use going forward on stopping Jokic. If you want to support these breakdowns, you can subscribe to my Substack link below. I've been doing series previews, post-game breakdowns, and podcasts over there. Link is in the description below. The very first observation I wanted to make when watching this game was, who is Anthony Davis going to guard? He obviously started off on Jokic, which means when the Nuggets went to their 5-out actions, AD is now pulled out of the paint, where they would pass it to Jokic in the middle and then have screening actions afterwards. So this would allow for cuts or rolls to the rim. AD would have to stay attached on Jokic and would allow the Nuggets guards and wings to get downhill and get clean looks. Jokic has the ability to take the ball and grab and go. This creates cross-match situations where Anthony Davis is out on the wing, and the Nuggets took advantage early in transition offense. When the Nuggets really found their stride was playing in 5-out, when they went to Chicago action or a screen down into a dribble handoff. Notice here how Schroeder goes underneath the handoff from Murray, and here Murray doesn't try to rise up and shoot a three, but goes into a two-man game with Jokic, kicks to Michael Porter Jr., who doesn't even see Reeves and hits a three. The next time down, Murray took note of Schroeder going under. They run the same exact play. As Murray comes off the handoff, he just goes right into his shooting motion and catches and shoots directly from the handoff, getting a clean, uncontested three that he makes. The Nuggets again go to this action, but the Lakers switch. So they switch Schroeder and Reeves. Michael Porter Jr. notices this, so does Jokic, slips into the middle of the lane. Jokic hits him and ends up drawing the foul. 3 separate plays, 3 separate reads, 3 scores from the Nuggets. The Nuggets got out early in transition in the first quarter, scoring often off of mistakes and misses from the Lakers. Jokic's ability to bring the ball up the floor means it draws the attention of Anthony Davis, so any pass ahead to players like Gordon or Murray allow for downhill drives with no rim protection, and this is where the Lakers' defense really suffered the most. Off of simple mistakes or anything that happened in transition, AD would have to try to clean up at the rim and allowed for offensive rebounding opportunities for Jokic to finish. After timeout, the Nuggets run a clever play for Jokic where they have him set the initial cross screen. They come off a down screen, flex action as it's known. Here, Schroeder stays attached on Murray, now allowing space for AD to get through. Jokic just walks into an easy pull-up jumper. Another example of Jokic being able to grab and go, and watch here as the backdoor cut by Bruce Brown, kick to MPJ means Anthony Davis has to close out to a shooter. That leads to another Jokic offensive rebound putback. The Nuggets like to set these little wedge or up screens for Jokic to get the ball into the paint. Jokic ends up backing down Davis here, and for some reason the Lakers were trapping when Anthony Davis is on Jokic. The trap here allows for space as Walker lifts up. KCP recognizes this space and cuts into it. This is absolutely an absurd pass from Jokic where initially when he was backing down AD, he doesn't even see the cut, but recognizes it in the play, finds KCP for the easy layup. Another way the Nuggets use Jokic is at the elbows, where they would run some little handoff action and throw to Jokic at the elbow and run split action. All it takes here is for a subtle pump fake or ball fake by Jokic. AD reacts, and Jokic just drives right by him, just getting him slightly out of position. And if AD's beat, there's no rim protection. Another little up screen play here for Jokic, gets the ball, notices that Anthony Davis' hand is on his back, so his body is moving forward into momentum, trying to put pressure on Jokic's back. Jokic then spins off it, Anthony Davis gets out of position, and Jokic finishes with a dunk. Another example here of how the Nuggets change their plays based on reads after you guard it once. They initially cut Murray backdoor, who then sets the back screen for Gordon. You can see here on this back screen now Schroeder does a good job of tagging the back screen. By the time he tags, Murray's already coming off the handoff, rising into a wide open 3-point jump shot. The next time that they run this same action, they look to set up the back screen, but the Lakers do a good job adjusting. You see Rui drop underneath and try to sag, but now that turns into Gordon setting a down screen for Murray to navigate into a handoff again, so they change up the coverage. AD has to react to the drive. Gordon kind of screens off AD on the roll. That leaves a Jokic pick and pop wide open, who attacks the closeout of Rui and draws the foul. The two-man game of Jokic and Murray is already deadly enough, but now AD has to focus on Jokic on the roll. That left Murray being able to rise over Reeves for easy pull-up jumpers off of handoffs and ball screens. Another example here of Jokic's incredible IQ. We can see here in the first example, they run a little Iverson cut and then screen for Jokic out to the wing. Here you can see Anthony Davis is going underneath that screen, so Jokic kind of takes note of that. The first possession here is a post-up where Jokic just backs down AD and ends up hitting a little tough pull-up jumper in the paint. The next possession, you'll see the same reaction where he recognizes AD going underneath here, and all Jokic has to do is fade or pop to the three-point line while AD is caught on the other side. That leaves Jokic catching the ball, attacking. Reeves has to help on the closeout. That leaves Michael Porter Jr. open for a three. Noticing this action work in the first half, the Nuggets went to it again for Michael Porter Jr., where he set a down screen into a dribble handoff. This time the Lakers do a good job of taking it away, but that's just the tip of the iceberg with Jokic and the Nuggets. You can see as the ball screen set, AD sags off and then pays attention to the ball, just loses focus slightly on Jokic, ends up Jokic filling behind and hitting a on-the-run catch-and-shoot three from your center. Just absolutely ridiculous stuff. The thing about Jokic is once he gets the ball in the post, that's kind of the start of the game. The Lakers were kind of caught in the middle if they were going to actually trap or commit all the way or stunt off the closest defender. Here, Schroeder gets caught in the middle, basically in the middle of a stunt. Jokic just kicks it out right on time. KCP ends up hitting the three. And then Jokic caps off the incredible first three-quarter performance with this ridiculous step back, side step three, whatever you want to call it, on Anthony Davis. Heave at the end of the quarter, just absolutely crazy. Well, it took 3 quarters, but the Lakers realized they needed to adjust, so they decided to put Rui Hachimura on Jokic and Anthony Davis on Jeff Green, and Aaron Gordon when he checked in the game. The coverages stayed the same on ball, where you'd see mostly switching guards, and then Rui would be up to touch or, basically at the level of the ball screen. This then allowed AD to roam off the ball and ignore the player he was guarding, protecting the paint, a scheme they used all playoffs. So here, when the Nuggets go to a pin down set for Jokic, you can see Anthony Davis just ignoring Jeff Green, being able to stunt and be at the level of the ball when Jokic catches it. Basically 2 on the ball, not allowing a turn the corner drive, forcing a ISO from Jokic. Then AD just slides back into the rim protection role. Jokic puts up a floater that he usually makes, but end up missing this possession. Rui's pretty solid in ball screen coverage, but in this Jokic-Murray pick and roll, you can see him overreact here. So as Murray comes off, he just jumps a little bit on this hesitation. That allows Murray to drive downhill and get the layup over AD. They post up Jokic against Anthony Davis here in a little cross-match situation. You can see them playing a little 2-man game on this strong side. All it takes is Reeves to dig down just a little bit. That leads to another KCP 3. Another example here of the Jokic-Murray 2-man game, this time going against AD. Pretty good navigation here by Schroeder and on-ball pressure that ended up being called a foul. Challenge was unsuccessful as well. But they went back to the Rui matchup on Jokic, which is what I think they'll go to more of next game, where you see Jokic in the post. This then allowed AD to basically just sit in the paint with Gordon in the dunker spot. LeBron on the weak side, whoever is guarding the weak side defender has to kind of split the two, help down low, and then recover out. This led to a closeout. That means Anthony Davis is now protecting the rim, but that also leads to offensive rebounding opportunities for Gordon in the dunker spot. They go to a little cross screen set here with Gordon screening for Jokic. Jokic then posts up against Rui. Reeves does a good job on the strong side, sort of stunting and recovering quickly instead of staying in the middle like Schroeder did. You see a good closeout to the 3 that KCP ends up just missing. With the Nuggets needing a score, they went to that same back screen into a dribble handoff. Schroeder does a good job denying Murray on this, so Murray just sets a ball screen for Jokic. Good action. But now the problem is Gordon in the dunker spot, AD just roaming at the rim. Jokic looks to drive in and maybe throw up a pass, maybe a shot, we don't know, but AD is there to just clean it up completely. They're in a little wedge action again for Jokic to get a post up. Here Jokic posts up Rui. Here he's backing him down. AD does a good job coming over in time as LeBron cracks down on Gordon, forces a tough bullet pass that ends up in a turnover on Jokic. Another example here of Anthony Davis just basically ignoring Aaron Gordon off the ball. Didn't really care what he's doing. Anything he's trying to do leads to a Jokic ISO up top, which is, ideal for Jokic, but ends up in a tough turnaround pull-up. Good contest that leads to a miss. Another offensive rebound by Gordon, though. Jokic backs down Rui again here. Same situation. Anthony Davis loads over. LeBron sits down on Gordon. Jokic this time passes out to KCP, who attacks a closeout and makes a great scoop layup over Anthony Davis. In crunch time, the Nuggets like to go to some sort of twist action where a guard ball screen and then a Jokic-Murray action, trying to get the good defender off of Murray and then go a ball screen for Jokic. Run a little too late here. Reeves does a good job staying attached on any ball screen action, leaves in a miss for Murray. Another example of them running the same thing here with Reeves switching onto Murray. Little two-man game, Jokic on the roll. This time you can see collapsing on Jokic. He's able to find KCP, and Gordon does a good job here, setting the flare screen for the KCP 3. Ends up missing a great look. The last possession for the Nuggets, where Rui was posted up by Jokic, was interesting because Rui got caught on the outside fighting Jokic, which means Jokic, when he caught it, had a inside driving lane to the rim. A very weird and strange idea from Rui, but that leads to Jokic driving into the lane and getting fouled by Anthony Davis, sealing off the game with 2 clutch free throws. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown. If you got this far, please leave a like, subscribe, and support in any way you possibly can. Thank you so much.